Right, so for those of you on the recording, oh, Renata's jumping in. There we go. Wait for Renata to join in. I've done reciprocal coaching with Renata. So I'll go over the backstory because Renata knows it kind of. So yeah, I've worked in education 25 years. I was a journalist for 6 years before that, and I started working with my own coach in 2010. And I wished I'd done it many years before because it really helped me overcome imposter syndrome, anxiety, and really launch my career in educational leadership. And hi, Renata. I know you're there. You've got to put your camera on. You know the rules. So I then started training as a coach in 2014. Certified as a leadership coach in 2017. Then as an executive and teams coach in 2020. And now I'm doing the PPD to get the life coaching side. So pretty much straight after qualifying in 2017, I took on my first paying client. And it was one of those circumstances where I was at a party and I was having a drink with somebody who I'd just met, and this person was saying, oh yes, I'm looking to get promoted at work, and I'm going to try and find a coach. And I went, hey, I'm a coach. And we struck up a conversation. And then basically, my recommendation is read The Prosperous Coach if you've not read it, because it's about serving, not selling. So the way that I get clients and the way that I encourage you to get clients is serve people. Give them the most powerful conversation that they've ever had. Okay, so when we were just before I pressed record, we were building rapport. Okay, so that's the first step in getting coaching clients. Just build rapport. Have curiosity about the people that you're talking to. Because if you give somebody a really powerful transformational conversation, then even if they don't hire you as a client, they're going to go away and go, oh, wow, that was an amazing conversation. Yeah. And then when somebody they know says about coaching, they'll go, oh, I met Renata and, I had this really powerful conversation. You should have a conversation with Renata. So the conversation is about really building that rapport and then allowing that person to step out of their head and see what is actually going on. Get clarity around where they have their power, where they're giving away their power, and getting them to really think about what it is that they want to achieve. So, as I was saying, I became a coach because I had powerful coaching. And over the last year and a half, while I've been building my business, I've worked with 5 different coaches because each of them has given me the space to really think about different areas of my coaching business and also myself as a coach. So something I've discovered is I can only coach people as far as I've been coached, as far as I've had the breakthroughs. So I've done very intensive coaching. I've done a lot of personal development. I've done courses like Landmark Forum, Landmark Advanced. I've done a 10-day silent meditation retreat. I've read lots of different books. So it's really about doing the work on yourself, because you'll then be able to do the work with your client. If you can't do the work on yourself, you can't do it with a client. So I would say the first thing is start with yourself, get a coach, and really understand your limiting self-beliefs, particularly around money. And the reason I asked you to write those questions down and to do a little bit of work was you're probably going to come up with some money beliefs. Yeah. So, little show of hands. If I ask you to spend £1,000 now on coaching, how many of you would spend £1,000 on getting a coach for yourself? Put your hands up. None of you.
I just spend it on NLP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are not prepared to spend £1,000 on coaching yourself, you're not ready to charge a client £1,000. If you don't think that you are worth £1,000, then you're in the wrong business. So write a figure now on a piece of paper in front of you. Okay, I want coaching from you for 3 months. So let's say 10 sessions in those 3 months. How much are you going to charge me? Let's go around the room. So take yourselves off mute. So Charmaine, how much are you going to charge me?
I would say for £400.
So £40 a session. Okay. Renata.
Bear in mind, I'm no qualification, so I'm basing it on that.
Okay. Right. I'm glad you've clarified that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you charge me 400. Yep. Renata.
So my prices are based on my skills, not someone's budget. So 2,500.
2,500. Okay. Karen.
Yeah, it's like Charmaine said, because I'm only like a third to a half of the way through the course, so I would need to feel more confident that I'm giving somebody value for their money. When I complete the course, I would say at least 750.
At least 750, so 75 a session. Okay. Sylvia.
Again, I'm the same, kind of, because I will done 2 months in. I think if I'm trying to do the pay scale based on people's income, to be honest. So it depends on your income. It would be like policy, like honesty policy would be between 450 and 850.
Okay.
But you would pick based on your income.
Right. So what if I told you that clients don't care about your qualifications? I've never once been asked to prove that I am qualified, certified, member of ICF, anything, ever. Now, I have all those things up on my LinkedIn profile, but I've never actually been asked to prove it. No client has ever said, I've come to you because you trained with Marshall Goldsmith and Global Coach Group and the Chartered Management Institute and Coaching Academy. Yeah, no one has ever said that. Okay. I've charged clients for 3 months £8,000.
Wow.
And they've paid.
So are those executive
Nope.
clients?
Nope.
Okay.
Is this one-to-one?
Yep. So when you create a really powerful coaching conversation and that person can see the transformation it's going to make in their life, they will pay you there and then on the call. Yeah, I have a payment link that I can drop into the LinkedIn chat, into the Zoom chat, and clients pay me on the call.
Do they pay you in advance?
Yep.
The whole amount?
Yep.
What would you do if they get half?
Sorry, go ahead.
What do you do if you get halfway through and they go, actually, it's not for me? Would you kind of pay you? Would you get them to pay you, the half they've done and then give them the other half they haven't done back, kind of thing, like contract wise?
It would depend, because the reason you don't charge per session, the reason you charge by like a fixed term or by a retainer basis, is change takes time. Yeah, I work with one co-founder of a business who, after 7 sessions of coaching, still hadn't had a breakthrough, was still resisting the coaching, was still insisting that she was right and I was wrong and my process wasn't working and all the rest of it. And then on the 8th session, something changed. light bulb moment. And from that point on, that person did massive growth, personal and professional growth. They're still in contact with me. Their relationship with their co-founder of the business is now the best it's ever been. They've tripled the size of their business. And the person's very happy, both professionally and personally. If halfway through she'd have said, it's not working, give me my money back, would they have achieved that? So this is it. It's about standing for your client, even when, and especially when they don't believe in themselves. And I can see straight away, Karen, you're running that through your head and you're going, I agree with that bit or not agree with that bit. Okay. I'm not here for you to agree with me. I'm here to give you insight. Okay. This is what I've seen in making my business work. This is what my coaches have helped me to see. Yeah. You have to stand for your client. Sometimes you have to be quite insistent and in the face. Sometimes you have to back off. Sometimes you have to come in from the side. But you have to be a leader. You have to lead your client. Because sometimes they're not ready to take that first step without you holding their hand and leading them forward. So I'm going to go to Renata. Renata, you know how this works. We've done some reciprocal coaching. So what is the thing that you want and what's getting in your way?
So I had like Virgie a few minutes to look at the questions because you put a link on, you didn't put a link in the group that I was in. So Sonia sent me the link.
Okay.
So the question was, what is it that's standing in the way?
What's the biggest challenge at the moment?
I think getting clients, because I'm still with student clients.
Okay. So what's getting in the way of getting clients?
So I think it's, obviously that's a story that I'm telling myself. I don't know how to have this powerful conversation because I do talk to lots of people and then I mention coaching, but it doesn't get to the point in the conversation where I get some issues from them so I can show them how I can transform. So probably the strategy during the conversation is not as good that I can introduce me as a coach. I mentioned that I am studying for coaching diploma, but it doesn't get to the point where I want to, where they actually are interested.
Okay. So you're not getting to the point where they're interested, but it's not about them, it's about you. So what is it about you that's holding you back?
I think I don't have enough maybe examples or stories to show them that I have done enough coaching or transformational coaching.
Okay. So that's I haven't got enough stories and testimonies about being successful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig one layer deeper. What are you actually saying about yourself?
I'm not good enough.
Okay, I'm not good enough. Okay. I don't feel confident and good enough.
Yeah, as a coach yet.
Yeah. I haven't got this range of testimonials.
Yeah.
Therefore, when I'm in conversation with these people, what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't show that I'm as passionate about it as I think I should be. So I'm not presenting coaching that will, get them engaged into conversations with me and be more interested.
You're showing up small.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're showing up small. You're showing up as, I'm not feeling very confident and I'm not feeling very passionate, but let's have a little bit of a, a light conversation and I'll mention that I'm a coach. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a friendly conversation, but I feel I don't want to impose too much information on them That's why I think I stop myself at a certain point and I don't dig deeper.
Okay. So try this on.
Mhm.
Information does not cause transformation.
Yep, heard that before. That's so
Insight causes transformation. Show them something that they've never seen. Yeah. Now, I know from our reciprocal coaching, yeah, some of these underlying limiting beliefs around not feeling good enough. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you're in that conversation and you're kind of like, I really want to say this, but I can't get it out. What's that little voice in the head saying?
It's saying just don't do it.
Just don't do it because
Because because what if they want to have coaching with you? And I'm not
hang on.
fear of success.
Fear of success. What if they want to have coaching?
Yeah.
What
But
if they want me
yeah.
to be their coach?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of rejection, but I'm working on rejection because I know it's never personal. Obviously, you might not be the perfect coach for certain people, but yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I only realized that a while ago that there might be something to do with fear of success. That, oh, what if they actually want me to work with them, and
Yeah.
I will then come up as not good enough.
Yeah, because they're going to have expectations.
Yeah.
They're gonna have £2,500 worth of expectations.
Exactly. What if they decide, halfway, like Karen said,
Yeah.
it's not what I paid for.
Yeah. What if they decide that? What do you do?
Well, I'd have to explain that it's a process. It doesn't happen quickly. Transformation takes time.
Would you explain that, knowing that information doesn't cause transformation?
Now I would. So I think intake sessions or, setting up intake sessions will have to be more informative to explain what coaching is, and it might take longer because change takes time and there's lots of resistance sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't spoken for several weeks. And the last time I coached you, what was it on?
It's on limiting beliefs.
On limiting beliefs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what particularly on limiting beliefs?
Yeah, it was about feeling not good enough.
Okay, so what actions have you taken between our last conversation, which was about 3 months ago, and now?
Yep, that was a while ago. Well, I had a longer break from coaching, but I am working on finding evidence that I am good enough. And I have had lots of coaching sessions as I go back from home, and I provide value, even if it's just a feedback to other students, and they all appreciate it. So I hold on to those positive things, and this is evidence that I am good enough and I can just venture into something more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would happen if you let go of needing to be good enough? If you let go of all the nice things that people say, if you let go of all the beliefs and you just declared in language, I am good enough.
Yeah, obviously that wouldn't stand in a way because I wouldn't have this hesitation while having a conversation with someone.
Yeah. So can you declare it in language that you are good enough?
I can. I am a great coach.
No, that's not what I asked you.
Okay.
Can you declare in language, I am good enough?
I am good enough.
But now say it like you mean it.
Oh, right. Okay. I am good enough.
No, that's not still not saying it like you mean it.
No, I am good enough.
Okay, if you haven't figured out, I'm standing up. Yeah.
I am good enough.
Right, up you get. Come on.
Okay. What do you want me to jump? I am.
Yeah.
What? You can't see anything.
Yeah, come
I
on,
am
come
good
on.
enough.
Come on.
You want me
Okay,
to jump?
so-
Okay. I am good enough. I am good enough.
Fantastic. Right. So we don't need other people to validate that we're good enough. We don't need testimonials. They're nice, but we don't need them. Yeah. What we need, and this is the second, I've actually, believe it or not, this is actually written on my, no, it's
We
not.
can't
Well,
see that because you've
No,
got.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
so the second line of my notes is unstoppable belief. Right? You have to believe that you are unstoppable. It doesn't matter who says what, doesn't matter if the coaching session doesn't create a breakthrough. Not all coaching sessions create breakthroughs. We all like them. It's like an orgasm in sex. We all want one. Yeah, but it's not necessary and it doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, and you can't fake a breakthrough. Right? So you've got to have a mindset. Yeah, and that mindset has got to be unstoppable. Yeah, it can be done. You can do it. Yeah, Tony Robbins started off as a high school cleaner, and he's now one of the world's most successful coaches. Yeah, Rich Litvin, who wrote The Prosperous Coach, was a teacher, and then he was an assistant head teacher, and now he's one of the world's most successful coaches. So I know that I can do what he's done because he's already done it. Yeah, you can do that also. Yeah, so you've got to develop this mindset because it's the mindset that will allow you to shift the gears in your conversations with people. So that's a change in action because your mindset is different. And then when you shift the gears, you're going to get a completely different result. Yeah, I went to pick up my daughter's laptop today from the computer repair shop, and the owner came out. And the owner discovered, or the owner realized, that we had been to school together and I've not seen him in 33 years. And I didn't remember him at all. And he was able to say, oh, you were in that class and this, that, and the other. Yeah. So we built rapport. And I asked him, what's the biggest challenge he's got in his business? So he started telling me about his biggest challenge. And I'm like, oh, I can help you with that. I coach entrepreneurs. Yeah. So we're having a meeting on Thursday. Because I listened, built rapport, and then shifted the gears. Yeah. So every conversation that you have in a coffee shop, lining up in the supermarket, sitting down for a cup of tea with a best friend, whatever it is, every conversation, you've got the ability in that moment to get really curious, have a really powerful conversation, shift the gears, and coach. Don't try and sell them coaching. Just coach them. Yeah, slow it right down, just coach. Okay, so you want to have more clients and you want to have more confidence. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, not having that, how's that making you feel?
Well, it makes me feel like I'm wasting time doing PPD and a bit like a failure if I don't do that.
Okay, so you've told me the story.
Yep.
Yeah, I want you to actually give me the emotions.
So disappointed,
Okay, disappointed.
frustrated.
Yeah. Frustrated.
Not sure what else. I wouldn't say angry, but I think frustrated covers it.
What about sad?
Sad, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you've got the story. Am I good enough? Am I wasting my time? It's okay that I take a 3-month break from my reciprocal coaching with Alec because I've been on holiday. Yeah. Yeah, you start to create stories, yeah?
Yes.
And the story that you're creating is why you've not been showing up.
Yeah, I'm just giving excuses.
Yeah. And how does that feel?
Well, I'm ashamed of myself now. Just called me out.
That's what a good coach does.
Yep. Being
Yeah.
accountable, yes.
Accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call people out. Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks Renata for playing. Now I'm going to go and pick on someone else.
Thank you, Alec. Pleasure as always.
So, who would like to go next?
Although, can I ask a question? Because I'm confused. Because
Yep.
I thought, like we have to coach with the coaching academy as a grow model.
Yeah.
And you were asking a lot of leading questions.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, so is that, because I'm just so confused, because I just see everyone just doing very different things, because I got my feedback from my first assessment and then they say, do you need to do this, this, and this, and this? And then obviously like sometimes when I do coaching, sometimes people have hundreds of options, sometimes people struggle and they feel too much pressure. So and then obviously I've seen you as well coaching in different ways as well. So I'm just wondering, how do you, I don't know, just clarifications around that.
Okay, so for the purpose of your PPD, follow the grow and follow the tick sheet that they give you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your training wheels. Yeah, like when you ride a bike. Once you get through and you get your certificate, you can coach however you want to coach.
Okay, so I guess that would be your style more than the grow model then.
My style is I believe that everything is created in language.
Okay.
So I will lead. I will put. So I use linguistic coaching. I use provocative coaching. So deliberately taunting and provoking the person, but with a specific reason for doing so. I use a bit of NLP sometimes. I use a bit of coactive coaching. I use mindfulness. So depending where the person is, I'll kind of, it's intuitive based. It's gut based.
Right.
So
Okay.
just listening and kind of responding to what the client's telling me. But they say don't ask closed questions, but the closed question then leads into an open question.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just to say thanks, Sylvia, because I had the same question. So
yeah.
I wasn't, again, I'm only 2 weeks in, so I'm like probably the newest person on, in this program, and still also struggling with, what is an open question? How, this, but I really like the way that you just drew Renata out more and more, and really got to the juxt of what is bothering her. So that was really good to see that, in action.
So Charmaine, I'm going to come to you because you were the lowest priced coach in my group.
Because I said I'm 2 weeks in. I also have an experience. So my experience I'm come through 20 years of business experience, worked for a pharmaceutical company, very senior in a leadership role. And I have my experiences. I've had lots of coaching myself, and I've had also involved a lot of coaches within my business. So I've paid people a lot of money to come and do group coaching or one-on-one coaching. I've also paid people not a lot of money. And so this is why I was curious, like when I asked you, is that a corporate coaching, kind of price? Because I also, when we make a decision as a business to engage with a coach, sometimes it is based on, oh, that's quite expensive. I'm not quite sure, am I going to get the value that I need out of this coach? And as I said, I've hired other coaches who weren't as expensive and got a lot of value out of it. So it's kind of this value add and this value base, and how you're clearly incredibly confident and incredibly skilled, but how do you sort of justify that? I'm charging this person 8,000, but maybe you're going to charge somebody else, or is that just your standard rate? And because you're a USA Today Top Coaches 2022, you can sell it. So this is just curious, because I know I've made business decisions based on this. Like, no, I'm not going to go with them because, to be honest, I think they're too expensive.
Yeah. So the value is whatever the client perceives is the value. Yeah. So when I started my coaching business back in January 2021, there was 2 websites, Bidvine and Bark. And somebody was asking in one of the TCA groups about Bark. Bark is the race to the bottom. So people who've kind of heard of coaching, or, you know, they'll go on Bark and they'll say, I want to coach. And there's, I don't know, a couple of hundred people on there, some of who are qualified, some of whom are not, some of whom have got lots of testimonials, some of whom have got no testimonials. And basically you'll pitch for the job based on the very scant amount of information. Now each pitch costs you a set amount of money. So you can quickly rack up £300, £400, £500 in expenses and not land a single client. And when you get a client, they are only prepared to pay £20, £40 an hour. Yeah. So you can spend all of your time doing that, or you can start to build rapport with people. So when I started my coaching business, it was about who knows me, likes me, and trusts me. Now, Charmaine, you said that you spent 20 years working in pharmaceuticals and leadership.
Mm.
Yeah. That's your experience. That's your value.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should imagine you want to coach people in that kind of field, because that's a field you know a lot about.
Well, that's an interesting question, because I have not decided, to be honest, when I took this on. So I've just had a major change. I've was in Switzerland with my role, and decided to come back to the UK. And so I'm now taking a break from my career and focused. And I thought, well, coaching, you know, it's something that I've really enjoyed doing, and had a lot of positive feedback from others through mentoring and that kind of thing. Oh, you'd be a really great coach, so why not? Let's give it a try. But I never really understood, you know, when I started looking into it, that these different specialists that I'm now learning about very quickly, you know, that people really have niche specialist roles. So to answer that question, Alec, I'm not sure yet. I'm also really keen on doing a lot of pro bono work, where I can support people who, you know, in many different walks of life. So I'm not decided yet that this is going to be something that I will do as a future paying career, but it's possible that that would be in the future. But to answer your question, I haven't decided yet if I will help people who, you know, executive level, or really focus my attention where people have a bigger, in my opinion, a bigger need.
Okay. So when you said that you would charge £400 to £40 a session, okay, if I was to ask you to write down all of the investment that you've done in yourself in terms of university degrees, you've probably done masters, other courses, things like that. If you were to think in terms of the pounds or dollar sum and the time, what kind of sum would you put on your complete experience and qualifications to date?
A lot. I can't pull a figure out of a hat, but yes, there's certainly an extensive amount of investment there, in one way or another. Yeah.
So when I think of how much, when I think of how much I've invested in my education and coaching without the time, actual dollar sum is around about $200,000. So I know that I'm a coach worth at least $200,000, because those are the bits of paper behind my name. And then add in life experiences and all the rest of it, it's priceless. Yeah, because this will speak to your niche. Your niche is, what do people walk away with when they've worked with you? Your marketing to your niche, you know, you'll need to pick a group of people to market to and to connect with, because that's how you get your first set of clients. But your actual niche is, what do clients get when they walk away? So my clients all get confidence in themselves. I don't build myself as a confidence coach, because people go, oh, I don't need confidence, I'm confident enough. Yeah, but people walk away feeling more confident. So it's part of this unstoppable belief is your mindset, but also your sense of purpose. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because that's what people buy.
Yeah. And my sense of purpose is to help people to in effect become better versions of themselves. That's been my purpose since I started working.
Yeah.
A lot longer than 20 years ago, but we won't give that away. But and that's what I aim to do in every role that I ever have done, is to support people to develop and grow and to be better versions of themselves.
Yeah. So your mindset, your purpose, and your niche, that gives you your kind of your unstoppable belief. And then you come into your program, which is you don't want to be selling coaching hour by hour.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. You want to design at least a 10 to 12 session, 3 to 4 month signature program where people start at point A and they achieve point D, E, F, G. Yes, you guide them through a process. Yeah. And how you build that process will depend on what kind of outcomes and objectives you want them to have. Okay. Yeah. So I have a program for leaders to become better leaders. So that's my corporate program. And out of interest, I charge £12,000 a year for a full corporate program per executive. And that's fortnightly sessions with me, plus all the 360 assessments and all the back end. So I'm trained on DISC and Talent Predicts and GLA 360. So I use a variety of tools with the executive. So, but that's my standard fee for a year-long coaching program with a company, because typically it's not one, it's 2 or 3 people. So the economies of scale for me working with a leadership team or something, it's it works out better that way. So you design your program and your sessions, and basically you want to kind of have a start and an end to your program, and the bit in the middle is whatever somebody shows up with in the coaching.
Okay. Yeah.
So they've kind of set some goals and they're taking some action, and this is where, Sylvia, you come into your kind of like grow, because they've set their goals and they're taking actions and things are working or not working, and each session just kind of becomes like, okay, so what's the goal for today? What's your reality? What are your options? What's your way forward? Okay, catch you in a week or 2 weeks. So that's where you kind of go into the grow model. And then the roundup again is kind of like, okay, this is where you started. So use something like a wheel of life in your induction pack, or some kind of tool like DISC or something at the beginning. So when they get to the end, they can actually see the growth. And again, a question I ask, say for example, Renata was saying, confidence on her wheel of life is a 4. As we're working through the 3 months and we get, how confident, I'm feeling like a 6 today. Oh, great, you've gone up since a 4. What's happened? What can you do now to move to a 7? So you can start to, and then when you get that client who doesn't feel, Karen, that they've made any progress and they want a rebate, you can turn around and say, well, you started off at a 4 and last week you told me you're a 7. What do you mean it's not working? Yeah. So you can start to collect the evidence as you go through. So that's a little bit of kind of how I would recommend packaging and getting people. The best way to connect to clients is face-to-face. If that doesn't work, then you definitely need a really good LinkedIn profile. Now, I wouldn't say spend lots of money on websites. I don't think I've got a client yet from my website. And I spent a lot of money, it's all very shiny. But I don't think I've actually got a client from the website. Facebook, depending on what kind of coach you are. If you're a mums and teens coach or a single dads coach or something like that, then Facebook's probably a good place to hang out. And most of the groups won't allow you to comment if they know that you're a coach. So reach out to the admins and moderators and offer to do free workshops in their group and add value for them, or write thought pieces that don't refer to you being a coach. And then people will start to notice your name. Social media, I wouldn't bother. When you've got a name and a brand that you can start to scale, then I would think those things are worthwhile. But other than that, I just found them to be a real distraction. LinkedIn is your main your main kind of place to be showing up, and show up consistently. So set yourself a couple of times a week. Mine's are a Tuesday and Thursday. I post something on a Tuesday and Thursday consistently. So that's what I recommend there. But it starts off with who knows you, who likes you, and who trusts you. So do you all have your cell phones with you? Okay. Open up your cell phone, go to your contacts, and scroll through on your cell phone to the first contact that you kind of look at the name and think, who is that person? Or, oh, I haven't spoken to that person for about 6 months. And let me know when you've got that contact on your phone.
My phone is out of battery, so I'll watch.
So Charmaine, have you got someone?
I have, but to be honest, I did a cull not so long ago. So yeah, I've got one person.
Okay, Renata? Yeah, Karen?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
Okay, all right, take yourself off mute, Karen, because we're going to do a little live exercise now. So if it's somebody that you kind of looking at thinking, I don't recognize their name, you're going to send them a WhatsApp or an SMS and go, hi, it's whoever you are here. I'm just going back through my contacts because I'm doing a cull. I came across your name and I can't remember where we met or when was the last time we had a call. Could you please let me know? Yeah, that's somebody who you've not spoken to in a while. If it's somebody you've not spoken to in a while,
Yeah.
okay, same message. Hey, it's Renata. I realised that we haven't spoken for X months. It would be really cool to catch up. Are you available later on? Karen, is that feeling uncomfortable?
Just a tad.
Okay. Where's the discomfort coming in?
This person I haven't spoken to for a few years, and a lot of people. I've recently moved away from a lot of things a few months ago, and I'm back in the UK now. So I just yeah. Long story.
Okay. So.
Okay. So what I do have a person I haven't spoken to for a while, so it'll be coming out of the blue.
Yeah. So hi, it's Karen here. I just realised that you and I haven't spoken for a long time. I thought it'd be fantastic to catch up. Are you available for a call later?
I can't type that fast, but okay.
Renata, have you sent your message?
I've sent it.
What does it say?
Hi, Jordan. We haven't spoken in a while. When are you available to chat?
Okay. Charmaine.
Yeah, no, it's a similar message, just to say back in the UK, haven't connected, let's get together. I will say I've been doing this routinely the past 6 weeks, only because there's so many people I haven't seen in 2 years since we've been away. So it's not, which has been great actually, because I've been able to connect with people to say exactly this. I'm starting, I'm starting coaching. Yeah, and lots of people are, oh, I want to be coached, pick me.
Good,
so, yeah.
Good. Well, your first clients may well come from your reciprocal coaching.
Yeah, I hope so.
or your free friends that you're training on.
Yeah.
So you've then got, I would like to encourage you to do a little challenge with me. 5 connections a day. So they say eat 5 pieces of fruit and veg a day. Yeah, to be healthy. So in order to have a healthy coaching business, you need to be having 5 connections a day. Okay.
Can you clarify connection? Do you mean, for example, find 5 people on LinkedIn or between friends?
Start off with people in your network that know, like, and trust you. because those are going to be people that you can practice on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way the conversation goes is, oh, Sylvia, hi, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while.
Oh, hi, how are you? Yeah, I haven't seen you. How you been?
I'm really good, thanks. And what have you been up to? How's life in Glasgow?
That's all good. All good. Try to set up my own business. How are you?
Really? What kind of business are you setting up?
Life coaching and mindfulness teaching and art.
Wow. That sounds really interesting. I've heard a lot about this mindfulness thing. What's that? Tell me more.
Yeah. Do I just go along with it? Explain it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, with mindfulness, it basically is just kind of that practice where it helps you to stay in the present. But particularly, I only do mindfulness for stress reduction. So actually, I'm doing I deliver courses to help give people like tangible tools to really decrease the stress level. So it's not just mindfulness for like, oh, we're just doing a mindful activities, but it's like properly teaching the principles, which are, based also from Buddhism, but which is like concrete steps to really decrease the level. So I'm really passionate about it, actually.
Fantastic. Sounds really interesting. So that's exactly how you have the conversation. Just find out about them and what they're doing. Yeah. Because the thing that we love to talk about the most is
Ourselves, yeah.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they will naturally get to a point of the conversation where they go, oh, and what about you?
Yeah. And what about you?
Exactly. Okay. So, thanks for asking, Sylvia. Well, I've just set up my own coaching business. I started off in January last year. I've been going for 18 months. I've been working with a whole range of different people, from actors through to CEOs and lawyers and doctors and school kids, and a whole range of people. And probably the one thing that all of my clients walk away with is feeling more confident in themselves, more able to be a better leader at work or a better parent at home. In the case of the actor, actually now starring in a movie. So that's what I've been up to, really.
That sounds good. But can I ask you, sorry, I might be asking you challenging questions, but can I ask you other questions?
Go ahead.
Because obviously now you had this 18 months experience. So
Yep.
you obviously like you have made a lot of progress with people and achieved a lot, and then walked away. But what would be your advice for someone like, at the moment I'm coaching 6 people, and obviously they're all getting massive progress and they all find their coaching very very useful. But then it's like, obviously for me it's like, oh yeah, when I get more to do the practice and I get more confident into be able to say, but how did you start it when you didn't have enough you were literally starting your business? So how did you kind of approach them? Does it make sense?
Yeah. I when I first started my business, I started off like everybody does, small. Yeah. I started off on Bidvine and Bark, spending about £600 and getting nowhere. Yeah. And then I hired a coach, and my coach basically said, you're wasting your time with all of that thing. This is how you actually start to get clients. So I just started connecting with people in my network, and just having conversations with people that know, like, and trusted me. And then using the strategies that my coach taught me, I just actually started to then convert people into clients. And then I had the confidence to actually start posting really bold stuff on LinkedIn, and people connecting and engaging with that content. And when somebody connects and engages with your content on LinkedIn, you then connect and engage with them. So you say, oh, well, what was it about my post that resonated with you? Why did you like it or applaud it, or, whatever they do? And you just start a conversation, and you start to look at their LinkedIn profile and where they work and what they do, and you start to get curious about them. And then you basically say, it'd be great to have a virtual coffee for 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. And you don't talk about coaching. You just listen to them and build rapport. Yeah. And then if you feel, and this is where the serving, not selling comes in, if you feel that they've got some problem that you can help them with, you then shift the gear. Would you like some coaching on that? No commitment. I'll give you a free coaching session. Yeah, let's book a time in now. Book the time in, and in that hour or hour and a half, or how long you want to do it, you just coach like hell. Yeah, you just coach and coach and coach and coach and coach and coach and coach. And then right at the end, when there's nothing left or there's no more time left, you go, you know, what are you taking away from that? Yeah, and if it's been transformational for them, you say, you know, do you want to have another session? And they go, yeah. So you get them in another session. In the other session, you actively shift the gear. Can you imagine having a session like this once a week or once a fortnight, once a month? And, you know, what would it be like to work together?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
it.
But it all starts off, literally, it started off with people that I already had in my network.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's why I say, if you start to connect with 5 people a day,
Yeah.
literally go through everybody that you've got on your phone. Yeah, go through everybody on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, write out a list of, you know, 25 people a week. Yeah. And then in the space of 3 months, you'll have done 300 people. Yeah. And 5 connections a day is literally calling them up or WhatsApping them and getting on a call with them. Because the thing is, get speaking to people. Don't hide behind texts and in mail and all the rest of it. Actually speak to people.
So if you feel that somebody's got an issue, you know, if you're getting chatting and you're building the rapport and all that kind of stuff, and then they sort of say, oh, I wish I could whatever, or I've been intending on whatever, do you then going to go, oh, well, I might be able to help you with that. Maybe we could, you know, talk about it some more. Do you know what I mean? Because is that how you
do
it?
Yeah, exactly. Shift the gear.
I feel like if I'm going to charge them money, I feel like I need to promise them something. I feel like I need to guarantee, if you pay me this, I'm going to get you from A to B. But obviously, it's down to them to get themselves from A to B.
Yeah.
So I do struggle with I can't promise you'll, you know, get your dream job, but I can, you know, I can help you get there, kind of thing. I don't know. I haven't quite got my head around that yet.
Yeah. So literally number 7 and the last item on my list on my piece of paper is money objections and money mindset. So when I asked if you'd spend £1,000 on having coaching yourself, none of you put your hands up. So you obviously don't value coaching.
Or you think you can do it yourself. You can coach yourself.
Yeah. The trouble with self-coaching is you're blind.
No, I've already got that far. Don't worry. Going through some of the growth, trying to figure out, just trying to, you know, peel the onion layers. You can't do it to yourself. I agree.
No. Yeah. So when you believe in the power of coaching, it's because you've had a really powerful coaching experience. Yeah. You've literally, hang on a second, let me turn off my background for a second. Can I do that? Right, so this is me in my bedroom because I've had to move out of my office because my wife's in the office tonight. So over there is the bathroom. So I once had such a powerful coaching conversation with a coach who asked me to enroll in their year-long program, which cost £10,000, that I felt physically sick. And I was in the office, which is in the other room over there, and I ran. The Zoom call dropped. The Zoom God was with me. Zoom call dropped, and I literally ran into the toilet, and I was dry retching, thinking, "Oh my God, how can I spend £10,000 of my savings on coaching, on me?" Yeah, because it's me. Yeah, we talk about our business, but our business is us, at least at the beginning. So I'm there literally dry retching and feeling really, really like, oh, this is the last thing that I want to do. And she called me up and she said, "Get back on the call." Zoom's back on. And she made me realize it wasn't the money. I had the money in my bank account. I'd actually early that week, I'd actually put 10,000 of my savings into my business bank account. that was what I was going to use to build my business. It wasn't about the money. It was about believing that I was worth the money and that I could do it. That was the money. That was my money objection. And it goes back to being a kid, you know, come from a working class family, money was tight. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, watch the pennies, the pounds take care of themselves. You know, never feeling that I could order the most expensive thing on the restaurant menu. The reason I started working when I was 12 years old is my parents could only afford like a certain generic brand of jeans, and I wanted Levi 501s to be exact. So I went out and got a weekend job so I could go and buy my Levi 501s. Yeah, because, you know, money was tight. So I've had that belief my whole life. I'm not worth it. I shouldn't be spending this money on myself. I should be saving for the rainy day and pension and this, that, and the other. You've all got beliefs around money. You don't believe that you are worth £1,000 to have coaching. I
think I would believe I'm sort of worth it, but it's whether I'm convinced that I'm going to get it back. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? If I knew I was going to make it back and then some, then I'd be more likely to jump for it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to give you the figure. So I invested a lot more than that in myself over the last 18 months. And in the first year of my coaching business, on revenue terms, I put myself in the top 10% of coaches worldwide, which I wouldn't have done had I not invested the money in myself. I would have still been bumping along. I probably wouldn't even have a coaching business now. I'd probably be back in supply teaching or doing other stuff. Yeah, because I wouldn't have been able to survive a year and a half without that kind of income. But that coaching and that whole process that I've been through is why I now quite comfortably feel happy to turn around and go into somebody, if you want to join my group coaching program, it's £1,000. If you want to join my individual coaching program, it's at least £5,000, depending on what the program is. I'm coaching a lawyer at the moment in Johnson and Johnson. He's self-funded. He's a young guy who's on the rise in Johnson and Johnson. He wanted a promotion. In the 8 months that I've been coaching him, he's been promoted twice, and the value of bonuses and promotions that he's received as a result of the coaching is more than 3 times what he's invested with me. So if you choose to believe in yourself and invest in yourself, A, you'll become a better coach, and B, you'll have a coaching business where you're actually charging money, which is not £40 a session.
I think what you've touched on a really good point there, Alec. Also, if you think about it, if it wasn't coaching and you were going to set up a business, selling widgets, you'd have to find the money to invest in that business. So I think I haven't thought of it like that. You know, where actually this is, if I went down that route, then yes, I would need to invest in my business, of which I am the business, and therefore need to invest in myself. So I think that's a really great point. Thank you.
So I want to do a little activity with you, right? I'm going to count from 3 to 1. When I get to 1, I want you to hold your breath. Okay. Actually, I'm going to show you a little video instead. Hang on. Let me find my little video. Bear with me. I wasn't planning to do this. That's why I don't have it set up. But bear with me just a second. Right. So I need to share screen. Okay, so you're just going to follow the instructions on the screen. Okay. So, did you stop breathing? Did you hold your breath?
Yes.
Yeah. Did it get really uncomfortable towards the end and you really, really wanted to breathe? That's how badly you've got to want to build your coaching business. Yeah. That's how badly you've got to want to wake up every single day, be a better version of you, be a better coach for your clients, and get through your bullshit stories, and build a coaching business. So information is not going to cause the transformation. It's taking yourself on every single day and doing the work that's going to make you a better coach, better person, and build your business. So get those 5 contacts a day. Yeah. Shift the gear, get uncomfortable in shifting the gear in that conversation. Practice coaching. Practice saying your fee. So Sylvia, you said between 450 and 850. Add a 0. Karen, you said 750. Add a 0. Charmaine, you said 400. add a 0, double it.
I'm going to say all of the people are coming to me for coaching because I'm the cheapest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally, there are coaches who charge 150, 200,000 pounds a year to work with them, one-to-one. Yeah, and they've achieved that within 10 to 12 years of building their business. They started off charging $30 and very quickly learned that it takes a whole lot of clients at $30 an hour to pay the mortgage. Yeah, and the thing is, you want to have enough clients that you're able to train and develop yourself as a coach so that you're getting better and giving more value. If you're playing the volume game, if you're playing the numbers game, yeah, and you're teaching 6, 7, 8 hours back to back every day, you're going to be exhausted. Your coaching is going to be low quality. Yeah, and then after 6 months, 8 months, you're just going to go, oh, I'll go back to my corporate job. This is exhausting. This isn't worth it.
Isn't it the difficulty finding people that have got that money to spend, though?
No. So I had a client come to me once, a musician, and he was like, "Oh, this is when I was charging £1,500 for 3 months, right? Very early in my business after starting with my coaching." He was like, "Oh, I'm a musician. I don't have £1,500." And I was like, "Okay, but at the moment you're going nowhere. You're literally stuck in your bedroom, stuck inside your head. You're not producing music. You're not writing music. You're not performing. You're doing nothing." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "And if you keep doing nothing, how long is it before somebody comes around and takes your house away? How long is it before the money in the bank dries up and somebody comes and takes the house from you?" And he said, "Oh, I've got about 3 or 4 months." I said, "Okay, imagine if you work with me for 3 months and you write music and produce music and get some music sold or get out and perform, and instead of it being 3 months until you lose your house, you've now got a year." I said, if I turn around and said you've got 3 months to live unless you take these pills, and these pills cost £1,500, would you go and buy the pills? And he said, "Well, of course I would." I was like, "Okay, so you could find £1,500 for the pills?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, find £1,500 for the coaching." And he did. He's now producing and writing music and performing. So you've got to be comfortable in yourself saying, "I'm worth spending £1,000 on me for coaching, and therefore I'm confident in asking for £2,000, £3,000 for coaching because I know I'm worth it and I know that they're worth it." If it's going to make a difference in their life, they'll find £2,000, £3,000. You can have them pay in installments. but the first installment's got to be at least 50% of whatever you're going to charge them. Because otherwise, if you charge them on a case-by-case basis, they have a bad week and they just turn around and go, oh, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah, so you got to believe in yourself and stand and lead your client so that they can get the life that they want and you can get the life that you want.
So do you not do any kind of like one-to-one? Because I thought people pay basically after each session. So you just do like, I only do a block. That's it. You can only buy a block for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, because otherwise, like, to be honest, sometimes people book then every 3 weeks, and then you're like, well, I still need to have a stable income. So
Yeah.
this makes much sense. Yeah.
You know, make your contract really clear. So my contract is really clear. You commit to coaching with me. If you pay for 3 months, I expect you to turn up and do the 3 months. Yeah. My contract clearly says there are no refunds. Yeah, because it's a commitment that you're going to see the full 3 months through. Now, obviously, if somebody is like suddenly taken ill or there's a massive change in their life circumstances, then of course I'll discuss a refund. But that's an exceptional case. But I actually want my, you know, as I said, the co-founder of this business that I coached, out of the 10 sessions that we worked together, by session 7, she still hadn't had a breakthrough and wasn't changing her thought patterns and behaviors. On the 8th session she did, and in those final 3 sessions she made massive progress. But up until session 7 she'd been actively resisting the coaching.
Can I ask a quick question on sort of mentorship, as it were? It's my nurse is my background, and I'm looking to sort of coach kind of, you know, sort of NHS clients and things, and I was sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. And going into sort of the health and resilience side of things, obviously because my background being health. And I was sort of wondering, you know, if somebody's coming to me wanting to lose weight and say they're diabetic and what have you, with the grow model, it seems very pure coaching. You can't lead, you can't tell, you can't advise. It's all getting it out of them. What have you tried? What hasn't worked? What has worked? Blah, blah. But if I know a piece of advice I can give to somebody that would be really valuable from my medical experience, where do you sit with, you know, because I'd want to share that, and I think that potentially they'd want me to if they knew I knew something I thought could help them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, that again, I think once you've got your PPD, what I do, particularly in leadership coaching, it's, for example, I've got a client who I'm working on with communications at the moment. So it's like, okay, you want to get better at communications. Here are some things I recommend you read. Yeah, or here are some sources of information you can go and look at, or here's a YouTube video. So the coaching is, I want to get better at communication and I want these skills and I want these things. Okay, so I'll coach them around why and goals and things like that. But at the end, I'll turn around and say, here are some resources, because part of the corporate coaching thing is as well is you're not just there purely in a coaching role. You are there to improve their performance in the business. So there's an expectation that you're giving resources to the client in those regards, and also particularly with one of the methodologies that I coach people in, which is stakeholder centered coaching. I'm actually training them on how to coach the people that report to them. So it's like the structure that we use in stakeholder centered coaching, I'm actually training them on how to be a stakeholder centered coach, so they then replicate that with their team, which is how you get such rapid growth in a team with just the leader being coached, because the leader is then applying that with all the people that report to them.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, the different talents I would say, so like, I guess just clarify as well what's the expectation with the person, because for example, like I don't have obviously a lot of experience, but some people say, I'm so glad you don't give advice.
Yeah.
It's people I'm coaching, because actually then they realize it's all on them. And also if they want to find the research, is about how are you going to find this information. So I guess it really depends on how you're going to develop your, because sometimes we want to give informations, but then like people, oh yeah, I'll read it, but then it's actually, then you can help them coach to actually be like, okay, how are you going to find it? And then they actually look for the informations, then it's a higher chance also that also get them in brain. So just kind of like, just kind of scale up where, because I think I have also this time I want to give a lot of advice, but then the more I'm doing it, the more I'm realizing it, like the questioning part is also, but obviously in executive coaching, I think it's also quite different, but in the personal one, I think it's definitely like, yeah, just
Yeah. But I mean, part of the reality and the options is, well, where could you find that information?
Yeah.
What information do you have? I mean, I know a lot of people who buy books and leave them on the bookshelf, and they feel that somehow during the night that knowledge is going to leach, into their brains, in some kind of strange process. You actually have to pick the book up and read it, probably several times. I mean, the Stephen Covey, I've read that probably 3 or 4 times. Prosperous Coach, again, I've probably read that 3 or 4 times, and there's always something new that you get from it. That video I showed you that I made, I used to do that every week to myself, make myself watch that and hold my breath, and so the more you do those kinds of things, the more aware you are of what's going on in your head. Any questions, Renata?
No, I really like the whole webinar.
Great.
Yep. And we'll go for coffee next week, maybe.
Yeah. I work in London, so if you're ever in the Paddington area and you fancy a coffee, let me know. Come and have a coffee. So just to go off down my 7 points. Number 1, start with yourself. Okay. Get over your money belief. Invest in a coach. Yeah. Number 2, mindset. Unstoppable. Okay. You don't need people to tell you you're good enough. You just declare that I am good enough, and you are good enough. Okay. If you're interested in that whole ontological, linguistic, language-based coaching, read Language in the Pursuit of Happiness by Chalmers Brothers, and get yourself on Landmark, Forum, and Advanced. That mindset is driven by your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. And when you think about niche, don't tie yourself up in niche, right? Just serve people, and you will naturally draw people to you. Rather, I mean, you do need to target your messaging a little bit. I work with males over 40 in the pharmaceutical industry or whatever, but that's your kind of message. But your niche is, what do people get when they work with you? Yeah. Design your 3 month, 4 months, 10 session, 12 session, whatever kind of program. Not rigid structure, but something to launch with, something to close with, and in the middle, use the grow model. LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on your target market, but definitely LinkedIn. Have the transformational conversation. Serve, coach. And that should be to start off with people who know, like, and trust you, and 5 a day, like your fruit and veg. And then get around your money hang-ups and your objections. So I'm gonna, last 5 minutes, I'm gonna play a little game. Who wants to play? Okay, Charmaine.
It's brave or stupid, one of the two.
So, Charmaine, to work with me for 6 months is going to cost you £5,000. Okay. When I say that number, how do you feel about that?
If you'd asked me at the beginning of the call, I would have said no, because I don't have any guarantee that you're going to give me what I need. I don't know you. I don't have any inclination about, what it is that you're going to, what's the value in it for me?
Yeah.
An hour and a half into the conversation, I'm now going to answer, there is a strong likelihood that I would invest that money in myself, because listening to what you are saying, learning a little bit more about your background and what you've done and the people you work with, I think that I can get some value out of our relationship.
Great. Okay. So have you got your credit card ready?
Nice try. No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not going to click on the bottom of the page either.
Right. Okay. Get your credit card ready.
Okay. It's not in this room, but here we go.
Okay.
Here's my credit card.
Okay. So you got your credit card.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think are typical objections that people will come up with as to why they can't pay?
Well, exactly that. Oh, I don't have my card with me.
Yeah, don't have my card. Yeah.
Not in the room. I don't have a £5,000 credit card limit.
Yeah.
So I can't put that on my credit card. So I'll need to pay you through the debit card. You'll have to give me your bank account details so I can pay you through the bank account. I can't afford it. I don't have £5,000.
Or I have to ask my husband, or
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
I have to ask my husband, over my dead body. But yes, I have to ask my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of those are objections.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the minute you go off of the call, yeah, if you've managed to create a really transformational conversation, you've got somebody to really believe in what they're capable of and what you can do and all of that, the minute they hang up the call, reality rushes back into that vacuum. All the limiting beliefs that they've just suspended for the hour and a half of the coaching come back in. Yeah, all the money doubts that they've had come rushing back in, and they hang up and they kind of go, "Oh, right, what have I got to do now? Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
And you've lost that momentum that you created. Okay, so I've become very good at tackling the money objections. Oh, you don't have your credit card? Don't worry, I can wait. Go and grab it. Yeah.
with that innocent smile. Yeah.
Oh, you can't afford 5,000. You've only got a 2,000 credit limit. That's fine. How about you deposit 1,500 now, and we can put in place a payment plan for the rest. Yeah, I'll accept 1,500 as a deposit. Oh, you mentioned that you want to chat to your husband. Tell me, if you were to buy a really nice gift for your husband, would you ask permission, or would you just buy it for him? Yeah. So there's lots of things, because it all comes down to, it's not about the money, it's about the person choosing to believe in themselves. If they choose to believe in themselves, they will find a way to pay. Yeah. So that's the last thing. It's get used to dealing with those objections.
Yeah, I've heard that if someone came up to you and said, your friend, and said, "Oh, I've got there's a Ferrari, which is amazing car, and you just have to pay 5,000 for it, but it has to be by the end of the week. Would you come up with the money?"
Yep.
And you've always wanted Ferrari, and people would. So if they can't come up with 5,000 for the coaching, means they're not committed enough,
Yep.
or they don't want it enough.
And I'm very happy now saying, okay, so why don't you get back to me when you choose to believe in yourself?
Dig.
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, I know my worth.
Yeah. But on the flip side, and to play devil's advocate, there are people out there who truly cannot afford £5,000 too. And so, that is something, and that's really where I not that I'm going to go down the 400, but I think that's you've in effect maybe need to be cautious. Maybe you're targeting the wrong audience, if that is the case. If that is your your prices are that, and you coming up against people who simply can't afford, like Karen's saying, if she's going to be, you know, coaching NHS workers, I mean, is that really realistic to be charging £5,000?
Well, I'll let you into my little secret. So because I work in education, and I really value frontline people like doctors, nurses, teachers, fire officers, police officers, I have a very different fee schedule for them.
Okay, that makes more sense. That
Yeah.
absolutely makes sense. And that goes back to my original discussion of when I've brought coaches into work and the value that I perceive that coach is going to bring, what I'm prepared to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually, with my corporate clients, I offer them the opportunity of a pay it forward premium. So whatever so my standard corporate fee is 12,000. If they're prepared to give £1,000 additional, I'll reduce their fee by £1,000, so that I'll then put £2,000 into pro bono coaching.
Okay,
So,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of things you can do, but the end of the day is you need to build a sustainable source of income before you can do your pro bono work. Any last questions before we jump off?
Yes. How do we, because you said that we can design a program,
Yeah.
and it is not specified to niche, and obviously people come to you with different goals. How do you design a 3-month program then?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Renata, because here I go shifting the gears.
Okay.
So I've decided that I'm actually going to put together a group coaching program to help young coaches or people early in their coaching careers on how to build the coaching business the way that I've built it. So I will basically teach you how to build a program specific to your niche, with not copying the way that I do things, but doing things in your own way. I'll teach you how to get over the objections and the money conversations, and I'll teach you how to have a really powerful enrollment call with someone.
Thank you.
And the $1 million question is, Alec,
Yeah.
what's it going to cost?
What's it going to cost? Well, so for 3 months, which is 12 sessions, it will be £1,000. And I'll give you all the resources, all the videos, all the materials, all the recordings of the group coaching sessions. And it will be a very limited group, so maximum of 5 people. So that way, every week you're guaranteed to get some coaching, because the value of the program is in the coaching. I can teach you the strategies, but until you're actually putting them into practice or not putting them into practice, then you're not going to know what's working and what's not working for you. Because depending on what you've done in your career to date, you may be really comfortable asking for money, but you may be really uncomfortable being vulnerable on a coaching call. Yeah. You may be really uncomfortable asking for money, but you may be really good at like digging into what's really going on with the client. But the only way you're ever going to find that out is if you start to put into practice the strategies.
Okay, good to know. And would you be considering doing it? So, in example, you said 5 people, say you got 5 people to sign up now and then maybe do another session at another time. So as an example, for me, 2 weeks into the coaching, I simply cannot take anything else on at the moment, trying to get my head around it all, including, you know, doing some other things that I've got in the pipeline. And so it's just not, you know, viable from a time perspective. But is that what you're thinking? You might sort of do this as a reiterative?
I'm planning to launch it in January for the simple reason that I've got to travel 3 times in the next 3 weeks. So I'm literally going to be in and out of the country. So I'm not going to be able to have the regular, and then going into Christmas, people are traveling, holidays, what have you. So I'm thinking literally to start the first week of January. But then I'll be looking to do the first cohort, get feedback on that, and then look to do my second cohort probably around about April.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd certainly be interested if you could, keep me in mind when you start to launch it.
Absolutely.
Be a couple of months down the line by then. So
yeah,
have a few coaching sessions under my belt, and make a little bit more
I can
sense.
do reciprocal coaching, Charmaine, if you want, with you and
Okay.
and Sylvia. Stick to grow model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for it because I realize that with all the students, I'm able to use the full grow model with everyone else not from there.
Yes, contact me. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Perfect. Right, thank you so much, Alex, for organizing.
Yeah, thanks
Very
very
good.
much, Alex.
Has that been
for your
useful?
time. Yes, really useful. Yeah. Thank you for
Very
giving up your
useful because
time.
you put everything into perspective, and it's also nicely structured as well. So as a webinar, it's done really nicely with, you know, example with me, and then you know, questions, and then going back to the question, the answers that we gave at the beginning. So it's really nicely structured.
Great, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'll stop recording there. By the way, is everybody happy for me to share this recording with people in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah? Cool.